Hello and welcome to another episode of the Motorhome Map podcast. Today we are doing something quite different, something we've never done before. I've spoken at length about buying a motorhome or campervan, about planning your holiday and indeed the leisure industry at large, but I've never really talked to you about how you would use a campervan and particularly about eating in one. Today that's what that's all about. My favourite topic, food, as you can tell. Now, as travelling tourists, we have a rather unique ability to impact the local economies that we visit. And today is all about tasting your destination. Now, I would encourage you and challenge you to try and shop for the food you eat when you're away in the places you visit and have a positive impact on that local economy. I was set the challenge to set up base in a campervan and try and source a campervan feast from within a few miles of our campsite. So we're here with our campervan on the Mendip Hills in the beautiful Chew Valley, and I would encourage you to join me on the journey as we go and see if we can find an entire feast from just a few miles away. One of the features of this area is Blagdon Lake. It is a reservoir that serves South Bristol and North Somerset with its fresh water. Now, you can fish here, and my neighbour and good friend Chris is a very keen trout fisherman, and he has hooked us a fresh trout which is currently back home being gutted. How on earth do you cook a trout this size in a motorhome with a 2-burner hob and a grill? I have no idea, and I have a friend and expert up my sleeve who is going to show us exactly how to do it. We've made a quick pit stop because we realised we're going to need something to drink with the trout later on. For me, it's white wine. Now, we are in Thatcher's country here and cider is everywhere, but Aldwick Estate is a beautiful wine producer which we look down on from the van. We'll point it out to you later. This is a bottle of BS40. It's a 2021 vintage. It's absolutely stunning, and we've bought this here at our local farm shop. So when you're traveling, hunt out your local farm shop close to your campsite and see what you can find that has come from a local producer. I've come to Wrington on the other side of the Mendip Hills. In fact, if you look across the valley, you can see where we've set up camp ready for our feast later on today. I'm at the beautiful Ethicurean restaurant, Green Michelin Star awarded, and its glorious walled garden to meet my very good friend and restaurant owner, Mr. Matthew Pennington.
Hey. Welcome to the Ethicurean. I'm really pleased to have you here. Man.
Thank you very much. It's great. It's stunning, this place. You know, it's one of my favourite restaurants. For our listeners and viewers, what is the Ethicurean all about?
Oh, we're a restaurant that's bedded into a walled garden in an orchard that produces cider, and it produces all of its own vegetables and herbs and everything delightful about food, where we take guests on an experience and we meet them in the garden, we give them a course of food, and they come through and have drinks and arrival snacks and a lovely 14-course tasting menu. 14 courses, wow. Gosh, it is, I don't remember there being 14 courses. I remember having tastes I've never experienced before, having been, and it was an absolute joy. We changed everything in the pandemic. We basically said that we're going to keep our team to a 45-hour week, thereabouts, and that we would incorporate service charge and tipping into the bill, so that goes straight to the team. Yeah. We're very concerned that, you know, mental well-being is great amongst the team, and making those choices has been really positive. They're a well-rested, happy and focused team.
Thank you for offering to help us with this episode this week, which is a new venture for us. We're very much trying to encourage people to taste their destination, and to shop local and to find food locally, rather than go shopping at home in the supermarket and you know, head off and cook. So we're basically going to step outside, find our food. So we've got trout.
Amazing.
Okay, but there is some bad news.
Okay.
You've only got a 2-ring gas burner hob and a grill.
No microwave.
No microwave.
No,
You
no,
can't
we
cheat.
left that in the car
I
park.
can't believe
yeah.
you've ever used a microwave.
No, we haven't. No.
So
There's no
that's
need.
it. So how on earth are you going to prepare a trout on a 2 gas burner hob?
Well, I think if we take something robust, like a nice big cast iron pan with a lid that fits really well, we'll be fine.
And what we're going to have with it?
Well, I think basically of the season, we should go out, we should gather a few things from the garden, a few things that are going to be right peak season right now, the end of the hungry gap, so lots of the garden's looking quite thriving and healthy. I reckon we add a couple of foraged herbs and vegetables that we find in the hedgerows.
Right, so it's going to be a very inexpensive feast.
Yeah,
I can't wait. Let's go. Let's do it, shall we?
let's do it, yeah? I'll show you
After
to the
you.
garden, yeah?
Let's do it to the garden. So where are we going to start?
Quite near to the kitchen door. we keep something that's really useful for the whole summer. This plant's amazing. This is a plant called nasturtium, and it's primarily used to attract bugs from other plants, but it's also edible from root to seed and flower. So yeah, a great opportunity here.
So we're not just picking flowers for the table.
No, we're picking something very edible here, yeah. It's quite an interesting one. It's one of the mustard family, so it's known as a nose twister. It's got a certain shot of mustard to it,
Okay.
spice.
And do you need to prepare it in any way? Or just eat it?
No, this one's best to be eaten live, and we can just pick a little bit for garnish.
We have nasturtium at home, but how do you know, when you come into a garden like this, how do you know what you could pick to eat? How do you discern what's edible and what's not?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't just go in there guesswork and just think everything's edible, because no, of course not. There'll be poisonous plants in a garden like this. So yeah, I'd say talk to the gardener, talk to the expert. You know, anybody that is on site that can show you for definite that that's edible, then that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, as you can see, this is absolutely covered in insects, caterpillars, little
I can
black
see
fly.
them,
Yeah, it's a magnet for other insects, which is great because they're not eating the vegetables just over there. The whole plant is edible, so we can gather flowers, leaves. Let me find you a smallish sized leaf to try. You're willing for a taste? I'm sure you know this one.
I'm going to eat it. Cool. Nose twister. Is that what you called it?
Yeah, gives a hot
Gordon
rush.
Bennett. Flipping heck.
Spicy, isn't it?
That has a real kick.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Who kn- So later in the months of summer, the seed pods grow as well after the flowers have obviously pollinated, and they're likened to a little bit like a caper, so crunchy, spicy, and we preserve those for the later in the year. It's a great plant that you find in a lot of kitchen gardens because it's self-seeding, and it's quite an easy one to recognise, I think. Gather a few more leaves. Let's get a couple of red ones, shall we?
How quickly do they grow back? I mean, you're picking these all the time for
Yeah, these
restaurant meals.
Yeah, these get constantly picked from when they spring up a month or so ago, and
Right, okay.
they're very prolific, and they're a creeping plant, so they'll go as far as they can. And yeah, even come September, we're still harvesting the rest of the plant to use.
I've still got that spicy taste.
Yeah,
That's remarkable.
and we've been using this plant later in the year to freeze into vodka, to take that spicy flavour. Then we make cocktails with that vodka that, you know, like an old fashioned or a Negroni.
Yeah.
They all benefit from that spice. So yeah, but this will make for a really nice side salad for the trout, I think.
What a good start.
Yeah.
What's next?
We should head down and see if we can get some lovage.
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 I'm happy to get some lovage with you.
Yeah. Right, here we'll head into the main growing area in the garden. You can see all sorts of other flowering plants here, insect pollinators going crazy, and then we've got beds of new potatoes and all the first season of the potatoes growing here. Just beyond that, we've got one of my favourite herbs of all time, and that's lovage.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
Go
Show
and
me
have a look.
more. So as well as supplying you as the Ethicurean, does the garden supply anyone else as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Cox is a really talented gardener that's been here longer than we have at this site, and he produces all of this incredible produce, which he puts into veg boxes for the local area.
Right.
And to other restaurants in the area too.
And does he ship wider than the local area? Or is it just a local venture?
It's just local, really.
Right,
I mean,
wow.
it's an electric van that runs the veg out.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kept to the nearest 15 miles or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And then we get the cream of the crop because we could come out here and pick it.
So lovage.
Yeah, lovage. Here it is.
Here we are.
We've just hit the time of year where you see this long line of harvested sticks here.
Yes.
Yeah, but we've still got some growing on this last patch at the end. The seed pods are taken off, and we'll use those seeds in the kitchen. And then we're going to gather some of the herbs because it's an absolutely happy partner for potatoes, and I think particularly for trout. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Hold on to that for me. Get a couple more.
Doesn't really smell of anything, does it?
Not until you crush the leaves. And then it's like, wow.
Oh gosh, yeah, wow.
Wow. Like,
Yeah.
it smells more like curry, and then the initial taste is celery.
It is a
Yeah.
strong celery, and then your mouth just explodes with this overwhelming sense of curry.
Yeah, it's really
It's
pungent.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Very potent.
This is such a happy partner to potatoes, essentially. There's a little creeping vine in there.
And is this something you would buy in a supermarket?
It's not one I've ever seen. in a
I've never seen
supermarket.
it, no.
No.
Not even Waitrose.
Not even Waitrose, yeah. I bet you will figure there soon.
And it is called lovage.
Yeah. Yeah, Levisticum.
what a
is its
great
Latin
name.
I mean, it's so pungent, that's all we're going to need for a dish for 4 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Given that you can't get this in a supermarket, could I grow it at home? Is it easy to grow?
Yeah, this is one of my favourite garden herbs because it's so simple. It's a perennial in that it means that it will grow back every year.
Yeah.
It has a rootstock much like celery or celeriac. That can be used as a vegetable. It's probably the most pungent thing you've ever tasted.
Right.
But the rest of the plant itself is fantastic for the entire year. The seeds themselves, once it's flowered, are used as a spice in a lot of South European cuisine. I think it's one that, it needs a bit more of a spotlight.
Yeah, definitely. And you were saying it's been cut now here,
Yeah.
but it's huge when it's in full bloom. Is
Yeah,
that?
it's head height. It's amazing. We might have a couple in the garden that are full sized if you want to have a look.
Wow. Lovage. There we
Lovage.
are. Now you know. So we've got nasturtium as well, which is often used in a drink, isn't it? It's used in Negroni. Should we
Yeah.
start with one of those?
Yeah, we should add that one on. It's quite a common one for the restaurant. Yeah, that would be delightful.
This is getting better by the minute.
And I think we should also go and pick something really special from the garden. This really does taste like the place, the destination.
Great.
And what we're going to do is we're going to get some of these coriander flowers and shoots.
And what is it that makes them taste of the? What is it that's special about them?
I think if you tried a supermarket coriander compared to this, immediately go, wow, that's a completely different plant. It's surprising how pungent something like this can be when it's fresh, and yeah.
Let's do it.
Here we have coriander in flower. This is one of the luckiest things that we get to do at the restaurant, is basically pick plants at different stages of growth. So even when the plant's in flower, it's of use. Even when the roots are, dug up, they can be used. And beyond that, we can even use the seeds, so fresh coriander seed. What I want to highlight here is just how flavourful.
They're beautiful little flowers. I don't think I've seen coriander flower before.
No, look at all the bees on them.
Yeah, the bees are loving it.
Have either taste the frond or taste the flower. What are you going to go for first?
Let's give it the flower. Just eat the whole thing. Oh wow! That's lovely. Yeah. Oh, that's proper coriander.
Yeah, it's sweet, citrusy. That's a whoosh of flavour, isn't it?
Gosh, that's actually making the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
Yeah.
Make sure I don't eat a bee.
Yeah, it's not soapy. It's just very pungent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I think that'll make a lovely fresh garnish for the end of the dish.
Wow, can't wait.
Right. Shall we gather a few flowers?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to help me with this.
So I recognise this as monk's beard, is that right?
You're quite right, yeah.
This is lovely. Can we get some of this as well?
Yeah, this is going to be a great plant to add to this. It's you might describe it as like a samphire. So
yes.
It's like a delicately salty, crunchy green plant. It'll go beautifully with potatoes, I know that much.
Let's add that to the mix
Yeah,
as
should
well.
we add a little bit of this
Yeah.
in? These are only still very young plants, but in the next month or two, these will start to bush out like this big.
Right.
Amazing. So yeah, we've got prime delicate cuttings here, and trimming them out like this, they will grow outward and more prolifically. Actually, you should try this very fresh. It reminds me of like a crunchy noodle.
Yeah.
Like chop suey noodles almost.
Cool, really crunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has a Chinese kind of sensation to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's amazing for a tiny little plant like this. Monk's beard.
Monk's beard, yeah.
I don't want to pick too much because these are only still little.
Yeah, they are tiny, aren't they, at the moment?
But yeah, that little handful will be very welcome with this dish.
So this is called the Barleywood walled garden, and here we've got the Barleywood orchard. In fact, we're walking through this remarkable kind of apple corridor.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's
all these
stunning.
old russet apples here, and
Yeah.
and it's home to Barleywood kitchen garden, and that's Mark who produces all the vegetables here. Barleywood orchard and cider makers, and we've got a potter here. We've got Bill the potter who makes plates for the restaurant, and yeah, it's amazing.
So it's really, really, everything for the restaurant is really literally on its doorstep, locally sourced.
Right, yeah.
So if you want to buy produce from Barleywood walled garden, then this is the shop. This is it.
This is the little garden shop.
Yeah.
So Mark has his kitchen garden shop here. It's a Monday today, so they're concentrating entirely on the veg boxes,
Which are stunning. They're beautiful.
They're amazing, aren't they? Yeah. But this is usually crammed full of amazing vegetables. I've earmarked those potatoes, so we'll go and grab a few
Let's
of those.
get some fresh potatoes. We're just adding to his next invoice to you.
Yes.
So as a restaurant, having a seasonally changing menu is nothing new, but you are literally led by what's in the garden, aren't you?
Yes, it's a daily conversation with the gardener here, which is incredible. So we obviously have to plan the menu ahead, but he will give us an idea of what's about to, ripen or come up next, and we plan the menu around that. So.
And how often are you ordering from Mark?
Every day.
Every day?
He's in the kitchen every day, which is incredible.
And so for your guests, they're going to get a different culinary experience every visit, aren't they not?
Yes.
Depending on the time of year.
Exactly, yeah. It's probably never the same twice here.
No. Incredible.
Yeah, amazing. So we got
so how heavy is
kilo
that?
potatoes.
Kilo, brilliant.
It's plenty, isn't
For
it?
two of us, that's more than enough. So as well as the restaurant and obviously the garden, it's kind of a micro economy here, isn't there?
Yeah.
What else is here?
Well, there's several businesses within this whole beautiful site. We have cider and apple juice makers, Mike and Izzy, and then we've got a coffee shed. We've got a pottery. So Bill Moore makes the plates at the restaurant.
Right, yeah.
Clay down in the local stream, and Karen Edwards, her ceramics, and a couple of other artists here.
There's a whole shop here as well, isn't there? It's beautiful.
Yep, and we're all cross-pollinating, using each other's stuff, and supporting each other.
Yeah.
By being on the same site.
You definitely could while away a whole afternoon and evening here, couldn't you?
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
You could eat and drink yourself silly. Well, Matthew, it's been an absolute joy and an education spending this time with you. Thank you very much this morning. It's been great.
Thanks for coming to visit us.
It's been truly wonderful. So now we're going to go and get the trout.
Yep.
And the hard bit or the easy bit for you?
Oh, this is the fun bit now. Yeah, we've gathered the ingredients. We've got a challenge. We're going to try and cook this as a one-pot wonder, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Now that you've tied the idea of a Negroni to start with.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Definitely start with a Negroni.
Yep.
Let's go and cook.
Okay, let's go.
Superb. So we're almost back at the van. We're on our way back to camp, and Matthew suggested we stop here and go for a quick wander. Ahead of us is a very overgrown grassy lane with dense hedges either side. Matthew, what are we looking for here?
Well, I mean, we could find several forageable herbs at this point of the year, so I think we'll have to have a look and see what we come across as we go, but a good 100 metre stretch, there's bound to be something.
I mean, all I can see is stinging nettles and weeds.
Stinging nettles is a good one for this. So
right,
yeah,
okay.
Right.
I'll let you pick those. Come on then, let's go and have a look.
Yep.
I'm intrigued.
I've already found something.
What's that?
This is meadowsweet. This is a really prolific one at this time of year. It's about to come into flower. Now, this one is pretty tough, but have a smell of this. I'd liken that to vanilla.
It is really sweet.
Yeah.
Blimey.
That might well go in a cocktail. I'll grab a couple of leaves of that. And you mentioned nettles. Now,
Yeah, there's lots of them here.
there's loads of them. Yeah, they're just coming into seed. That's actually when they're quite good. We may as well gather some because nutritionally they are amazing.
So what is it that's nutritionally amazing about a stinging nettle?
Yeah, I mean it's vitamin rich, plenty of minerals, and yeah, with a cloth, pretty easy to gather, a good handful. Go very well with the potatoes, those leaves. So I'll let you hold on to that one and I'll hold on to the nettles for now. Ooh, I'm starting to spot it.
What have you found?
Right, if you can see this, but somewhere in here we have a little creeping, climbing plant. Can you get that?
Look at that.
Are. This is a native pea called vetch.
Okay.
There's a whole family of these. There's probably a 15 or 20 of types, but around this time of year, the ones with the little purple flowers, they make for very good eating.
And what do we put these in? Just in the salad or?
I think maybe we throw a couple of these in the salad as garnish, yeah. These fresh shoots. You want to have a nibble again?
I can't believe I'm doing this. He's not winding me up.
No.
Yeah.
A delicate penis.
Delicate penis.
Penis, yes.
Penis.
Yeah.
It is penis, you're right. Yeah, definitely pea.
Yeah, fresh pea. Amazing,
Blimey.
isn't it? Yeah.
Who knew? And again, just to be safe, if you're not sure, don't eat it.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is all about having your knowledge, isn't it? And as we said earlier, you know, we can't talk to a gardener here. This is a country lane. But
Yeah.
if you're not sure, don't just pick it and eat it.
Yeah, definitely reach out to an expert. Photographs work quite well if you're going to ask a
Definitely.
You can ask a foraging group. But yeah, I wouldn't be just picking willy-nilly.
No. Willies and penis.
We can. I think we can go with what we've got there.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
There we go. Amazing. Right, so let's walk on back to the van and get that pot on.
Yeah.
So here we are back at the van with this stunning backdrop behind us. The Ethicurean restaurant in the distance, the walled garden, Hardwick wines just below us, and the lake from which we have our prize trout. Thank you, Chris. Freshly caught, it's just been gutted. I'm going to present it to Matthew and then it's over to him. Here we are, sir.
Hello. Aren't you a beauty?
Welcome to the van. So you've made a quick start.
Oh, all we've done is parboiled the potatoes in a little bit of water. We've poured off most of the water, so there's just a bit of residual in the bottom, and then we're going to add all of our other ingredients to that and steam the fish over the top of it.
Into the same pot.
All into the same pot.
So it's literally a one pot cook.
Yeah, this is
Absolutely genius.
Yep. Those nasturtiums that we found earlier, we've frozen those into a circumstantial vodka, which is a Bristol-based distillers. That's been in the freezer.
Ooh.
Yep. That's going to already have picked up quite a lot of that pepperiness from the nasturtiums, and will go amazingly in the drink we're going to make.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the trout in. Let's
Okay.
get on the Negroni.
Earlier. This is going to be great with the potatoes, but some of this we can put in the cavity of the fish. It's just going to add a little bit of the flavour to the fish. And it's steaming. There we go. Get a bit of sea salt on the inside as well.
Love it. That was from our trip to Anglesey. That is Anglesey sea salt.
Lovely salt, Hallam Mon, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. We will need to. Well, I think. Yeah. Let's get this over the steam. It is crying out for a bit of white wine and some butter. And a BS40 from earlier, Moldwick.
Mind your head. that is the joy of cooking in a camper van. Mind your head.
Yeah, don't be too tall.
No.
Oh, wow.
Lovely.
Right, that'll take only a moment to start coming up to steam. Take a splash of cider vinegar to that as well, just for acidity. And some of this local butter.
Yeah, good old Yo Valley.
And the very land, maybe see the cow
Yeah.
from here.
Get it in. Look at that. So you're going to cook the trout with the head on?
Yeah, it's going to fit in the pan. I mean, save some faff. You mean if you were in any way squeamish, I suppose you could chop it off. But the thing is, what's going to happen here is all of the steaming juices from the fish are going to catch down on the potatoes and essentially make a sauce from it. So leaving the head on, it's only going to be a bit better for it. It's great. So in with the rest of the lovage on the base. It's already smelling absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to put the nettles in as well. The steaming and the cooking will render any stings in the silica null and void.
I was going to say, what happens to the nettles? They're broken down, presumably, by the heat and the
Burst
steam.
just by the heat, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go. this will
In he
probably
goes.
just curl in. I don't know if you can see that from here, but I'll hand it down.
Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, that smells amazing.
Already all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's going to go up for a hot bath. Little sauna.
Yeah. Lucky trout.
I mean, I think 20-25 minutes.
Is that all it would take?
Yeah, I think you can only overcook a fish.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's just leave that be.
So the prep time actually on the hob has been, how long were the potatoes?
Oh, we gave them a
Half
quarter of an hour cooking potatoes, yeah.
So less than an hour
Oh, yeah.
we've done.
And gathered these ingredients and
Yeah.
there we go. We've even got time to make a drink.
Let's do that.
20-minute timer.
Now you know
There we
how
go.
a Michelin Star chef sets a timer, courtesy of Siri. Right, so it's drinks time. We've got Negroni, so talk me through it.
Yeah, we've taken the nasturtium, we've frozen those. We froze pretty quickly in the little chiller box.
Yeah.
We're going to add vermouth, a bit of Campari for bitterness, and we'll put a bit of meadow sweet through there as well for some vanilla, some coumarin flavours. So we'll need a bit of ice.
Let's do it. We've got the whole crew behind the camera here. They're salivating and all angling for a sip of Negroni. Maybe later, guys.
So we're going to 35 mils of the vodka infused with the nasturtium. Lovely.
Lovely. Oh, it smells good. So this is a Bristol vodka?
Yeah, they're distilled right in the centre of Bristol.
Right, okay.
They make all sorts of amazing stuff. They complete our bar back at the restaurant.
Right.
Yeah, amazing. We'll be working on a collaboration gin with them next, which is all very exciting.
Aha.
Yep. And then 25 mils of each of the punty mess vermouth and the Campari.
Okay. There we go. I'll let you do that.
That's all.
It's a great colour.
This is a great drink to get the taste buds going, I think. It's ever so bitter, isn't it?
It is lovely, and lovely weather for it today as well. Okay, so
A little bit of meadow sweet.
meadow sweet going in.
Clap that for me. A little crushing.
Just crush it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells good.
Perfect.
We ready?
We are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Very, very nice.
Smell the nasturtium straight off, don't you?
Straight away.
Oh,
Yeah. Cool, yeah.
really peppery.
Really peppery.
Oh,
Yep.
that's the ticket.
Mellow on the tongue.
Mm.
Superb.
Look at that dinner just chilling in the background.
Love it. A bit like me, that's all I've been doing most of this most of today, chilling in the background. It's been great. So just to recap then, we've managed to capture some food here from not very many miles away at all. Probably the furthest is the vodka in Bristol, which is even then 6 miles away from this very spot that we're camped out on. So we've got food from obviously your restaurant, from the walled garden, just a few miles away. We've got trout from the local lake. We've got salad
From the hedgerow.
from the hedge up literally behind here, and wine has gone in from the valley here, and we're looking at the vineyards, which are beautiful, from Aldwick Estate. And we went to the farm shop, but we didn't actually need to buy anything there in the end, did we? It all came.
A bit of butter, yeah.
Yeah, some butter, yeah. The O Valley, of course, as well, who are local. So I'm very much about encouraging people to taste their destination. which is fantastic advice, I think. But what advice would you have for people looking to cook up a feast like this in a confined space that is a campervan or motorhome?
Yeah, I mean, I think just keeping it relatively simple. Let the ingredients that you found along your way speak for themselves. Cook them in a very simple manner. The one pot thing is really useful in a space like this. Very low stress, and it will no doubt be delicious.
Well, when we discussed filming this and recording this, and I suggested, maybe trout, and I was joking. I've never considered that you could steam a trout in the way you have, in the same pot as all the potatoes and veg. It's just remarkable. So, I mean, there must be all sorts of foods that you can cook in a single pot.
Yeah.
What other top foods would you suggest people considered?
Oh, the slow cooked casseroles, all that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, I think as long as you've gone to the area, you're camping and you're set up somewhere like this, you're bound to find a farm shop that's got some good cuts. A local fishmonger, could be anything, couldn't it? And see what you can do together in one pot.
Yeah, yeah. And it makes a massive difference to the local economy, doesn't it?
Yes, yes. Right now, that's really important.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
It's looking ideal.
The steam is pouring out of there when you lift the lid.
Yeah.
Smells amazing.
Nice thing about steaming something like this is it doesn't have the same smell as grilling. So, window open, doors open like this.
And in a vehicle like this, that's really important as well, because steaming something in a confined space like this, you need to make sure it's ventilated. Today the weather is stunning. We're in a van with a sliding door, so we've got the door open, taking in the view, and the steam can escape. So that's something to bear in mind. On a winter's day, this probably isn't the best choice.
No.
You'd be wiping your glasses every few seconds.
Yeah. You turn yourself into a sauna.
Yeah. A fishy sauna. So this has been a massive learning curve for me, and it's all about knowledge, isn't it? And knowing what you can pick, what you can eat, and making sure that you're safe. But how did you get into it? How did you start off with your expertise in foraging?
I think I was lucky to be out early as a kid in things like the Cub Scouts and then the Scouts, and we did a vast amount of outdoor cooking at that point. That stayed with me for the entirety of my career, and then of late, we went out looking for similar flavours in nature that you can find in commonly grown things, to see whether you could elevate food through using wild ingredients. And it turns out there are an absolute myriad of things out there that are great. Yeah.
And what would be your best advice to people looking to get into foraging? How can they find out more about it?
I think go out with anybody who has a little, shows an interest in that sort of thing. It's best. I always think it's best that you're shown directly by somebody that knows. It is a little bit hard to recognise from photographs, and you can make mistakes that way. However, once you've spent an afternoon with somebody that's somewhat knowledgeable in this, and they can show it you, they break the leaves, they make you smell it. When you know what it is, they make you taste it, and you recognise that. That imprints on your memory, and actually you won't forget that plant.
No.
We all got lots of access to online, forums, and you can always message your mate very quickly to find out, check you've got the right thing. Never a better time to. Oh, well,
timer. So that's the cue. Does that mean we're ready?
Well, almost. I think. Whilst we are...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look at that. Look at me glasses go.
That smells
ideal.
Amazing.
We've definitely reduced down into a sauce. The fish is soft to the touch. We're going to throw in that monk's beard that we had. It doesn't need much cooking, the monk's beard. And those lovely, vibrant coriander flowers. We want all of the aromatics to be really fresh with that, so we're just going to leave those.
So they don't go in for very long at all then?
No, these are just going to wilt and provide a lovely little bit of flavour for the dish.
Can you see again?
Yes, I can see again now.
Your glasses have demisted.
Lovely bright colours.
Beautiful, yeah. Hold this for the camera. Can you see this? This is so in the plate now we've got nasturtium, vetch, and this lovely
It's a nasturtium flower.
nasturtium
there, yeah.
flowers, bright orange, red. And they are beautiful. And here comes the pan with the trout.
So a little bit of cider vinegar.
I'm going to say some cider vinegar going on the salad. That smells phenomenal. It looks awesome. The trout doesn't look quite so impressed.
He's wilted. He's given up. So,
Well, first spoonful. Look at that. So, you need to tell us what's happening here, Matt.
we are just ladling out some of this very buttery potato and herb-rich sauce.
This is definitely better on video than audio. It's
And-
trying to describe what's happening. Look how soft the trout is.
Yeah. And we might as well leave the fish in there. Wow, look at that flesh.
It's just falling off.
Yeah. Very easy just to take the skin off the fish. Wanders off.
You just touch it and it falls off.
We just work along the bone of the top of the fish, and out it comes in chunks. There'll always be a little bones in trout, but you know,
Yeah.
never going to be a problem here.
Just spooning it off the body of the trout. Steaming it's made it so soft, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very succulent, isn't it? And then we can just leave the lid on that to keep it warm. Want to grind a pepper on the top of your fish?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, very pleased with that.
That looks amazing. You could serve that in the restaurant. That would-
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Well,
Well, bon appetit.
bon appetit.
Yeah. I'm going straight for the trout. Really succulent. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's hard to portray, but that burst of flavour.
That's huge.
It's earthy, isn't it?
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you for coming and visiting us.
It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute delight. This is phenomenal. I can't. If I'd seen a picture of this and was told this was booked in a single pot in a campervan in a field in North Somerset, I would not have believed it at all.
Yeah.
But I've witnessed the entire thing from start to end, and it's been an absolute joy. It's phenomenal.
Tastes like a destination to me.
It does taste like a destination. And if you are in North Somerset, then please do check out the Ethicurean restaurant. Matthew and his team would love to see you, I know. You do need to book well in advance to get a table. The food there is magnificent, and if this gives you any idea of what you could be in for, then you'll definitely be in for a treat. I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as I have. Here's to you.
And to you.
And a
Thank you,
Negroni to finish. Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
Now, this whole episode has taken a whole team to put together, and whilst Matthew's done all the hard work in front of the camera, behind the camera there's a crew of people who are desperate to try the food. Maddie's nicked my plate.
Sunshine. Yes.
And they're both going to get to try a bit. Here they are. There's Maddie having a go. What do you think?
That that's delicious.
Jordan? This is a man who eats.
It's a man who does not
This
eat
is a man who eats
vegetables.
Pringles for a living.
Nah. I'm editing this, I can cut that out.
It's true. And here's Nicola as well, who's been
Hi.
very much behind the scenes.
I came at the right time.
You did.
The leftovers.
Oh, how is it?
Ready?
Very good.
Elegantly eaten.
It's beautiful.
It's actually delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.